What could I possibly be doing with this today? What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And I sorted out some of the electrical issues. We sorted out the battery problem, and we've made some more progress on the car. And I wanted to give you guys a very brief quick update video and a quick walk around to show you that all of the lights and stuff work on this car. The AC works, we got the radio working now, everything's good. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so this is the Volkswagen EOS. As you can see, guys, those tail lights work like a champ. License plates light work. Brake lights and everything work too. Got your tail lights, your marker lights. Everything on this vehicle, light wise, works like a champ, including that Christmas tree on the dashboard. We'll see if I can get this to come up. Whoop, look at that. A lot of lights, right? But it's a lot of frivolous crap, like airbag lights and stuff like that because of the accident, and the pop-ups and stuff. But somebody asked for a dedicated, like, what's the damage or what do you got to fix on it? You can see some of the side swipes, the door. This is stuff that could be body filled though and sprayed. I'm not really stressed about that. The lights, which I've been told are very, very, very expensive, work like a champ. The running lights and the headlights, as well as the high beams, all that stuff works. The whole front end of the car works. The fog lights work. All of the lights, everything like electrical on this car, the stuff that I guess that's expensive on this car, works, including the turn signals in the mirrors. Even though this one's hit, it still works. It lights up and everything. You really can't beat it. Outside of the damage to the door and to the rear quarter back there, which I talked to the previous owner. They saw this car on YouTube and commented, and then reached out to me on Instagram, and I was like, that's not true. And then they sent me pictures of them with the car and told me the story about how the other side got damaged and how a body shop, specifically Caliber Collision, did the rear back here. And you can see it's really not the best body work I've ever seen. But it had got hit and sideswiped before this. This was part of the accident where it got hit head on and then pushed over into a guardrail. But this was from a previous accident where somebody had kind of like hit it, ricocheted, and they tried to body fill it and spray it. And they did not base and clear. This paint, which you can see is different than that paint. This has clear in it. This is what the previous owner told me. So absolutely ridiculous. What a mess that is. I don't have the key on me, so of course it's not going to open. But everything else on this thing works. She doesn't run hot. You can hear the cooling fans cutting off and on. She doesn't smoke. She runs good. The engine is good. Everything's good on it. Let's talk about what happened to the car and how it got like that. All right, guys. So the story goes pretty simple. They lived in South Carolina, and they were down by the border. So they worked up in Wilmington on the North Carolina side, but they lived down on the South Carolina side of the border, which makes sense with the South Carolina plates and all that, but it also makes sense of why all the service stuff was from Wilmington, North Carolina. Well, needless to say, the previous owner, who also asked me not to mention their name or anything like that because they were super embarrassed about this car, and asked, like, I even took down a former video that had like the license plate and stuff in it because they don't want to be I guess exposed. So the story goes that this gentleman, and it was a guy, was driving this car back from Wilmington, where it had recently just had its oil changed, which would mark up with the Firestone oil change that is in the glove box. It happened on that day. Was driving home, and somebody that was on their phone, I guess you get the narrative, right? 2-lane road, swerved over, and it was going to be a head-on collision. So the driver here in the EOS swerved to the left, which would have put them into the wrong lane, but instead of it being a head-on collision, it explains why the damage is the way it is, and let's look at it. So this explains the current damage, right? If you're going and you're going to be into a head-on collision, basically they swerved, or they tried to avoid the accident, and instead of them hitting here, he still couldn't get away. They started to catch here, he hit, and it was a pickup truck that basically came all the way in, and it hit the door super friggin' hard, boom, and then the truck hit and spun away, which also pushed the EOS. The EOS was already being pushed over because of this, and then it tapped over into that guardrail on the left side of the road and caused a little bit of damage on the door on the other side. So kind of freaky, kind of crazy to know that that much damage or that much force could have been a head-on collision. And I don't know how the front of this car would have held up to the F-150, by the way, that hit the side of this truck. I mean, hit the F-150 that hit the side of this car at 50 miles an hour. And geez, that's needless to say, he was by himself. There was no passenger, nobody else in the vehicle with him, and he was actually able to drive the car home. And the car sat at his house for 6 months. 6 whole months. So his insurance company, who he said was Century Group, took 6 months to pay him out, or it took him 3 months to get paid out, but then it took the insurance company another 3 months to even come pick up the car, and then the car sat at COPART for 8.5 months. Crazy. And he was just shocked to see it here. I guess somebody that knows him on Facebook saw it and had to tag him in it, and then he reached out to me. So, I mean, it's a respect thing for me. If somebody hit me up like that and it was their previous vehicle and there was something that they were embarrassed about, of course I'm going to do the right thing, and that's what I did. And I deleted that old video that somebody asked me about with this car. Not because it was being driven or any of that crap, because I just drove it on the road the other day. But it was literally because some of his personal information was shown in a video and I didn't even see it. It was on the floor. And I'm sure you guys probably didn't see it either, but it's just a measure of caution, and I didn't have an issue with it. I just took it down for him. And he told me good luck with the car. It had been exceptionally, crazily serviced, and that's why I saw the BG sticker under the hood. They did the BG service. That's why it runs. It runs so friggin' good because they BG serviced the DSG transmission, which the DSG is horrible in these cars, and until the later ones, right? Like after 2013, they got a little better. But pre-2013, the DSG transmission is not what you wanted from Volkswagen. It's basically a double clutch transmission. So, but overall, that was the story. That's what happened. He said the guy in the F-150 didn't get to drive home. His truck was done. So that's kind of funny. The fact that the Volkswagen was able to drive home, and being that this was his only mode of transportation, they were trying to make him go to the hospital, and he was like, no, he would go to the hospital once he got home. He drove this car home, and it was garage kept, parked it in his garage, and then got him an Uber to the hospital where he got checked out. And I didn't get into the specifics on what if he got paid, but basically he said, he was more than well compensated for what happened to his Volkswagen EOS, and I think so too. He did hit me up and say that he did have dash cam footage of the accident, which I was like, oh, you got to send that to me. So let's wait and see what happens. If he's able to find it, or he still has a copy of it and sends it to me, I'll do an update video or a story time video on this car for you guys. But now that I know more about the story of this car, I'm kind of more attached to it, and I kind of really want to, even if I can't make it perfect, I kind of really just want to do my best for it. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds stupid, but I guess, I don't know, I kind of want to fix it. So it's beautiful out here, man. The hawks are flying around and the birds, but anywho's, let me get out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching. You guys were asking about it, and I got hit up by this guy and thought I would tell you the story of the car and show you guys that all the lights and stuff work. I had people hitting me up if I wanted to sell the parts on it, and right now I think I'm gonna fix it. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna sell it for parts, even though I was told that just selling the taillights and the headlights, I'd more than make my money back on the car. Plus the engine and transmission, I'd probably make a couple grand. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll see. But with that said, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Let me give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Robinhood. That's right, Robinhood is the great place that you can go to be a retail investor. You ever heard that? You've been hearing that on the news lately? You can buy stocks, trade stocks, sell stocks, jump into crypto, buy and sell crypto, you know, buy low, sell high. That's what everybody's supposed to do, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you financial advice, but if you do sign up with the link in the description at Robinhood right now, because it's holiday season, they're giving you 3 free stocks. It could be Tesla. That is one of the stocks that they do give away, which is insane. That's over $1,000 for free. There's no obligation. They don't take any payment information, nothing from you. I highly, highly, highly recommend. Yeah, that's what I do. Recommend that you sign up for Robinhood today. Link in the description down below. With that said, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I told you, look how beautiful it is out here. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's just so beautiful out here. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That sun's going down.